Hi guys, my name is Courtney Harden and I am part of Gilmore Gloss Girls. Now I have my makeup almost completely done. It looks pretty good, but I'm missing one major part. If you didn't guess, it is brows. So brows are very, very important. They frame your face. I didn't used to fill my brows in at all, and when I started doing it, I realized how much better my makeup looked. It looked more professional and just more finished and complete. So I'm gonna show you two different techniques for filling your brows. One that's a little bit more every day, maybe you're not someone that wears a ton of makeup, and then another one that's a little bit more precise, a little bit more, I would say, professional looking. I'm gonna start with the more easy, everyday look. So the first thing you're going to want to do, regardless of which technique you use, is to take a spoolie brush like this and brush your brows upwards. You can kind of see what you're working with when you do this. You can see if there's gaps in your brows, holes, and then you'll know where to kind of fill in. So I use two different ShadowSense products to fill my brows, one more predominantly than the other. So we actually have a brow product called BrowSense. This comes in 4 different colors: light, dark, taupe, and auburn. I use the taupe. That just is kind of a preference thing depending on your coloring and how dark you like your eyebrows to look. And then the other product that I use is ShadowSense, and I actually combine 2 colors to create the exact color that I'm going for. The beauty of using ShadowSense is that we have many shadow colors, and so you can really customize the color specifically to what you want. So I'm actually going to take a tub of makeup that I use and use that as a palette. So I use Rustic Brown and Mocha Java to fill my brows. I like mine a little bit darker than my natural hair color, and I'm normally a blonde, and so I like mine just a little bit darker than that, closer to my root color. So I did a little smudge of the Rustic Brown, and then right next to that I'm going to do a slightly smaller smudge of the Mocha Java. The reason being, the Rustic Brown is a little bit too dark, and so the Mocha Java I can use to tone that color down. So this is the easy way to do things. What I like to do is take a brush and just kind of blend those together. So I'm making a custom color with the ShadowSense, and then I'm actually going to take the spoolie end of the brush and kind of get some of that color into the spoolie. Now this stuff goes a really long way, so you will not need a whole lot. You guys, this is a piece of cake. All you do is fill your brush in, or fill your brows in, just by brushing through them. I want you to notice the difference from one brow to the other. This one with a little bit of color in it. Maybe the holes are filled in a little bit more. It just looks a little bit more complete on this half of my face now that I've got this brow with a little bit of color in it. It really is truly amazing. Okay, so this brow, I'm gonna do a little bit more of an advanced technique. This one's a little bit more precise, takes a little bit more time, but I really like how it looks. Okay, so with the same exact colors, I'm going to take, this is called a small angle brush. It's really like flat and kind of goes at an angle. So I'm gonna be using the same colors. I'm just gonna put a little bit more on here because I used a lot of it for my other brow, mostly just because the brush is bigger, so it kind of soaks up more color, because I didn't really use a ton on the one brow. Okay, so I put a little bit more on that tub there, and I'm gonna take this angled brush and I'm going to go ahead and mix that together. Now you don't want a ton of product on there because if you have a big glob of product on your brush, it's harder to be really precise. So I make sure that I kind of wipe some off. And then you can start wherever you want. I prefer to start at the tail of my brow. And I'm gonna go ahead and make that really precise. Bear with me, this is a little bit more detailed, so I'm gonna be taking my time a little bit. Okay, so you can see that I kind of outlined the tail and I made it really sharp. You want the end to come to a really nice sharp point. I'm gonna pick up more color on here, and all I'm doing right now is outlining my brow. This is important because a lot of the gaps in our brows are along the edges. You'll see that line I've got on the bottom side of the brow. Okay. See that line? I'm gonna get a little bit more color. The other thing about working with ShadowSense is you have just a little bit of time to work with it before it dries. Once it dries, it's gonna stay there, which is another great thing about using it for brows. They're gonna be smudge proof. So I'm gonna mix that color up again. Again, I used the rustic brown mixed with the mocha java just to get the right shade for me. And then I'm gonna wipe off the excess because I don't wanna be working with too much product. So I already did the bottom. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the top. Like I said, this part is a little bit more precise, and I'm gonna be connecting this to the tail. Okay, so I've got a really nice shape going. You are going to want to leave the very end kind of open, and you'll notice I don't take the top line all the way over. Okay, once you've got that part done, the rest is kind of easy. So you're gonna take that brush, and just because this is such a small area, pick up a little bit more product like I just did, and just work on filling that in. It's literally like coloring in a way. You're just filling in between the lines. You can do that like in the motion like that way, or kind of at an angle upwards to make it look like actual hair strokes. You can be a little bit more, like you can fill in really, really dark if you want, or like you can literally try to make this look more like hair strokes. I like it filled in because you know, I didn't go through this work to leave it not filled in. Look how sharp that looks. Getting a little bit more color. And then as I get towards the middle here, I'm a little bit more sparing with the color. If you've seen like professional makeup artists, or if you watch any makeup tutorials on YouTube, you might notice that the inner corner kind of smokes out a little bit. So up over here, I'm gonna take the angle of the brush and literally make little hair strokes. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna get out the BrowSense. I don't want you guys to think I forgot about that. So the BrowSense, this stuff is like the lip sense of brow products because it is not going to move until you take it off. So it requires like a makeup remover to take off, which is fantastic. Like you can just smudge, like rub your brows and it's not gonna move. Where if you did that like really hard with the shadow, I mean, it might. So this comes with a really like hair-like brush. So I prefer this for like little strokes, exactly like what we've got going here. And this, you can make it look really natural. Like it seriously just looks like hairs when I put that in there. And I like that. I like for it to just look feathered out at the end there. So I just added that in to make the edge look a little bit more natural, a little bit feathery. And you could also use this, like say along the edges to fill in gaps. So yeah, these are the products that I like to use. I use them in different ways. If you got a smaller spoolie than the one that actually comes with the BrowSense, because this will not fit in here, if you got a smaller one like off Amazon, you could actually dip that into here and use it to kind of brush into your brows. So I want to show you a little bit of a close-up. This one is a bit more of a natural look. If you're someone that doesn't like a lot of makeup, I'd prefer, or I would probably suggest using the technique I used over here with just the spoolie just to brush it in. If you're like someone that likes more of a complete look, a really sharp looking brow, I would go with this. And that's really all there is to it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you later.